Hi, my name is Gwen with Hub.Careers, and I want to talk to you today about developing a global mindset. So first, what exactly is a global mindset? Well, this kind of mindset just means being able to embrace the diversity that comes with different cultures and different markets, and being aware of the strategic importance that this diversity can bring to your career and to your business. Developing a global mindset is really important for your career, or for a modern career, for three main reasons. The first is that companies are expanding. JP Morgan Chase, for instance, has operations in over 60 countries. Likewise, General Electric, one of the biggest companies in the world right now, has operations in over 170 countries with 300,000 employees. To be successful, these companies realize that they need to adapt. They can't just have a product or a service that's successful in one country, say the United States, pick it up and implant it in another country, say Brazil. There are different markets and different consumers, and they need to understand how these markets and how these consumers vary. And they have to adapt their products to suit their consumers. A really simple example of this would be McDonald's. McDonald's, for instance, has operations in over 119 countries. But their menus vary according to country, according to region. So, for instance, in the United Arab Emirates, which is a predominantly Muslim country, pork is banned. So, even though a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit or a sausage and egg biscuit in the US might be very successful, it's not going to sell in the UAE. Pork products aren't going to sell. So McDonald's has to find a way to remove their pork products and find a different product that those consumers will enjoy. Number two, companies are outsourcing. If you've ever had to call a tech company before, you've probably had your call redirected to an IT company in India. Same goes with manufacturing. Companies are moving operations overseas in order to save money. And third, more than ever, people are moving. Some of the best scientists and engineers and intellectuals are moving to new countries. And due to their different upbringings, their different traditions and educational backgrounds, these people can bring new ideas and new innovations that could potentially revolutionize markets. I actually witnessed this a bit in my last job, which was located in India. So I was deputiated from Chicago to northern India, and I was put on a team with people from all different countries, all different backgrounds, all different educational fields, and we were working on a project with the Indian Department of Education. And one of the challenges we faced was that government school teachers were often considered very lazy. They weren't considered to do the work that they were supposed to do, and they had no accountability. Nobody could see in the rural village if the teacher was showing up to class or if they were doing the work they were supposed to do. But also in this environment, in the government environment, rewards weren't very common. You didn't get an award for coming to work, for instance, and it was very difficult to fire people. But it was very easy to give punishments. So after conducting some intensive research, we were able to find that many of the teachers weren't just lazy, they were actually demotivated. They felt like because the government kept telling them that they weren't doing work, there was no point in doing the work even if they had been doing it. They were already being accused of not doing the work. So considering that I was from a culture of gold stars and employee of the month and a lot of employee appreciation, I wanted to implement a very similar system in the Indian government system, which wasn't used to this kind of environment. So we actually talked to some NGOs working in India who found that doing even small non-monetary awards, just little paper awards for teachers who made the best lesson plan, for instance, were very effective in getting the rest of the teachers in a school or in a small community to do the same work. Even when they took that award away, they found that the work that the teachers were doing was sustainable. So this was one way that we found that something in one culture being implemented in another culture really effectively motivated teachers to do more work. So how can someone develop a global mindset without having to move to a different country? The first is just to be flexible. Recognize that just because you have certain likes, certain dislikes, certain preferences, or a certain way that you prefer to do your work doesn't mean that that works for everybody. Not everybody shares those likes and dislikes. Not everybody shares the same ideas about how something can be done effectively. And that doesn't even have to be on a global scale. I'm sure you can find that in your own community, even with the same upbringing, or even in your own family. The second is to be open. Just once you start recognizing that people have these different ways of working or these different types of ideas or these different backgrounds, be open to those ideas. Try to understand why people have those ideas. And even if they seem foreign at first, be open to accepting them. The third is just to be curious. Ask questions. Try to understand why somebody has a certain rationale. What was their cultural background? What was their educational background? How, in their own experience, did this idea work? Or how have they seen this idea work in the past? And the fourth is kind of a combination of the other three, but it's just to have patience, to recognize that you can't develop a whole new mindset overnight, but this is a process. This is something that you develop slowly over time. Just being more flexible, being more open, being more curious, and trying to really understand where somebody is coming from when they have a certain idea, or why. So when I had my idea, a lot of people weren't very open for it in the Indian government, and it took people who were being open and that recognized where I was coming from and would listen to examples that I had of how this helped employees in different countries, different regions, even within India, but also in the US. Those are the people who were more open to the idea, who helped it get passed, and to help me implement it. So I want to thank Hub.Careers again for sponsoring this video, and please go to their YouTube channel to watch more interesting videos about career tips such as this one. Thanks.